friends, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, but I do dabble on other online platforms and I sell locally. Today I'll be doing another ship with me video. In these videos I go day to day and I show the different items that I'm shipping out. I talk about how much they sold for, what I paid for them, and what my profit was. So you want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some new things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. So these are sales from over a 3-day weekend. It is February 20th, Tuesday, and I can't for the life of me remember what the holiday was yesterday. I guess my brain is just overloaded, but it was an okay weekend. I had a case last week that was approved and my sales are still kind of recovering from that, but I am accepting as many offers as possible right now to try and get the momentum back in my closet. So some of these are a little bit lower than what I would have liked, but it is what it is, and you know, I'm happy to have sales. So the first item is this Brighton black leather belt. I mainly picked this up because I liked this square belt buckle. I don't always do well with Brighton items. Sometimes they'll, you know, sell for a decent price, and most of the times they don't, especially compared to what they retail for. So this belt ended up selling for $15. Again, I don't know that I would have accepted that offer had I not been trying to, you know, please the algorithm and sell more items and get momentum in my closet. But I only paid $3 for it, and I do look at belts like bread and butter items, so I do want to move them in and move them out. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $9. Nothing to get too excited about, but a sale is a sale, and we are just going to go with that. The next item sold relatively quickly. It is this belt with an H monogram on it. I picked it up solely because I thought someone would want it because it kind of resembles Hermes. Of course, I did not use that brand name or anything. So the gold tone plating is worn off. The belt is quite worn with scuffs and marks, but it was only priced at $1, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. It sold for $20, which is just fine. I wasn't exactly sure how much I would get for this based on the condition, but overall I'm happy with that based on the fact that I paid $1 for it and it sold relatively quickly. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, let's see, get in there, that made my profit $15. So that is just fine. Mostly lower dollar sales this weekend, but I wish they could all be amazing like the last month and a half has been, but it's just not always like that, and that's just what we have to deal with. So the next item that sold is this cool vintage costume jewelry bracelet. Now, this sold for $15. I have had this listed forever. So if you were an OG Poshmark seller, this has been listed since we could only use 4 photos. So that tells you just how long it has been listed. I did relist it recently, and then it sold, you know, within a couple of weeks of being relisted. I think I had it listed for like $29 and the buyer offered me $15, but because it had been listed so long, I just said, okay. Plus someone had given this to me. So after posh fees, that made my profit $12. So someone said something interesting on one of my last videos. I was talking about accepting lower offers, and she said that she had heard another reseller say that they would rather have some of the money all of the time instead of all of the money some of the time. So I found that really interesting, interesting way to think about things, that cash flow is definitely a good thing, and keeping things moving is definitely a good thing. So, there's always two ways to look at things. So I'm just going to be thankful that I do have sales. The next sale is somewhat exciting. It is this Yves Saint Laurent clutch purse. So it's a wristlet. It just has a little wristlet strap that attaches right here. I purchased this for myself. It sold for $652, which I was pretty pleased with. A little bit of a story. I ordered this for myself 2 years ago for my birthday, and I ordered it new from, I think, Farfetch, I believe. And it shipped through UPS. It was marked, the return address was marked Saint Laurent. Someone opened the box while it was in transit and stole my item out of it. So I got an empty box. And I'm telling you, that was super scary, because the retail on this was, at that time, I think it was around $650. Nobody come for me for spending money on designer bags. It is my, one vice. I don't do it all the time. And I go with the, one in, one out rule. So if I'm buying something new, I will try and sell something that I already have, which is why I'm selling this. Well, one of the reasons. So anyways, it was stolen in transit, and trying to prove that you got an empty box is kind of difficult, because they're like, send pictures. I'm like, okay, here's a picture of the empty box. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Fortunately, I had paid through PayPal. It did take over a month, maybe 2 months, but I did get refunded. And then I just let it go, and I kept thinking about this bag. And so again, on my birthday, at the end of last year, I decided to look for it on the secondhand market, and I purchased it again, and I paid $515 plus tax, and I got it. And it's just not what I thought it was. Like, it just didn't really meet my needs, and I didn't reach for it, and I knew I wasn't going to reach for it. And there was a different bag that I had my eye on, so I decided to list this. It sold quite quickly, like in 2 weeks. So I did not make any money on this. In fact, I lost about $40, but that's okay. I try not to lose money on the bags I buy. Usually I make a profit on them, but it wasn't meant to be for me to have this bag, which I just find is really interesting. But it sold for $652. My earnings were $560. Oh no, I paid $560.84 with taxes and everything. So that gave me a loss of $39.24. That is fine. I'm ready to move it on to the next buyer, and I hope that they are excited about it and it works out for them. Because I was kind of disappointed, because I've been wanting that for a couple of years, and then I get it and it's not what I wanted. So, okay, the next sale is a bundle of 2 vintage Wrangler short sleeve shirts. I like to pick up these vintage Western style pearl snap shirts, so you see how the buttons are. I'm not sure exactly what era these are from, but I suspect they're from the 70s or 80s. This was something that I picked up at a fill the bag type sale, and I like to kind of experiment with this type of thing when I am at the bins or a fill the bag sale to see how it would do, because I'm not going to want to pay up for something like this if I don't know how well it will sell. So these sold pretty quickly, and they sold for the 2, they sold for $55. So I think that's pretty good, considering my average cost of goods for this sale was about $1, maybe a little bit less. Do you guys pick up vintage Wrangler? The other thing, when you pick up items like this, then that are experiments, then, you know, you kind of research things, and through that research, you can learn about other items with similar brands or styles or whatnot. And I learned that some vintage Wranglers go for a pretty penny. So I would recommend kind of looking into that, because I see vintage Wranglers a lot at the thrift store, and I never would have considered them to be valuable. That's just like kind of how I like to do things, through the research, and, you know, learn here and there new things to keep my eyes out for, to pick up. Okay, so these sold for $55. I paid $2. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $42. I think that's pretty great. The next item was another item that I picked up at a fill the bag sale, and it was just this cute Hawaiian shirt. I don't pick up every Hawaiian shirt, but this looked like it had a vintage label. Not super old. Let's see, I thought I saw a big loose string there, and I just thought it was cute. Plus it was a 2XL. This ended up selling for $20. Oops. And I think I might have got this at the same fill the bag sale. I'm not sure. But my average cost of goods on that sale was about $1 also. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15. That's just fine for, you know, something like this. Not terribly difficult to list or store or ship. I didn't have to do a whole bunch of research on this. I did look up the brand to make sure that it wasn't a desirable brand. Some of the vintage Hawaiian shirts or Hawaiian items in general, some of the brands can be more collectible than others. So you do want to, you know, do a tiny bit of research at least to make sure that you don't have one of those collectible brands. So if you enjoyed this type of video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. It is 2024. In my last couple of videos, I said 2023, but I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. And as of this video, I'm at about 3,600. So if you could help me out with that, I would really appreciate it. And it's totally free for you to subscribe. It just really means the world to me. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, both those things really help me out. I will be back in a couple of days to share what else I sell. So see you in a few. Hey again, it's Thursday and I've got quite a few things to ship out today. I am happy. It seems like my sales might be turning around. I sent out 20% off offers with discounted shipping on every item in my closet yesterday using my Posher VA, or day before yesterday. I can't remember, but it seems like it helped. It resulted in some sales, and I have been trying to be very, very active on the app, listing new items, relisting, sharing, all the things. Okay, so the first item that sold is this men's navy blue and brown belt. I just picked this up because I thought it looked like a nice quality piece, kind of had a preppy look to it. I like to have a variety of styles and sizes of belts in my closet. Let's see, I don't think I have sold any belts this week yet. So for those of you who are new here, I love selling belts. And typically I sell multiple a week. I think it's been a little slow for belt sales last week and this week, but I will take what I can get. This sold for $25. Typically, I list my belts at about $39, and then I hope to land in the $20 to $30 range. I paid $3 for this, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $17. The next item is just this teeny tiny little seagull charm. For those of you who watch my videos, you know that I like to pick up charm bracelets and then take the charms off and sell them individually. They are very easy to list that way. This sold for $17. They're not, you know, big money makers, but it is a nice, easy listing to do when you are trying to, you know, get more activity in your closet. And then they just sell and add a little bit here and there to your sales each day. Okay, so did I say it sold for $17 with discounted shipping? I paid about $2 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $9.58. For this item, I'm just using a little baggie that I got at the dollar store, like in the baby shower kind of decorations and stuff. They have little bags for favors there, trying to spit it out. And when I got this, they were like 10 for $1 or something. So it's a pretty affordable little way to add a little bit something extra to that item. Okay, the next item is a pretty exciting sale. This is a pair of semi-vintage Manolo Blahnik shoes. And I just thought this was a fun style. Of course, if I find designer shoes for a good price, I'm going to pick them up. I found these at one of our smaller thrift stores for just $6. They must not have known what Manolos were. Let's see, I think I might add some padding in on these. Now these did take a little bit longer to sell because, you know, I wanted to try and get a higher price for them. They ended up selling for $183, which I think is pretty good for this type of shoe. I've said this before, I don't always get super great prices. I think I might just package these up off camera. I don't always get super great prices for older designer shoes. So I was happy with the $183 that I got for these, especially since I paid $6 for them. This was one of the items that I sent out the 20% off offer, so it had discounted shipping. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods and the shipping discount, that made my profit $138.38. I think that is really great. Those probably took around 8 months to sell, so it did take a little while for them to sell for that price. The next item is this pair of Ariat Cruisers. These were like new, excellent used condition. That's why I picked them up. Also, I have had decent luck selling Ariat brand in the past. And for some reason, I kind of thought it was like a cheaper brand, but it's really not that cheap retail. So I try and keep my eyes out for Ariat in good condition and in good styles. These sold for $50. I think that is really great. I had paid $6 for these, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $34. For these Ariat Cruisers, I do like to look up the design on them because some of the designs are more desirable than others and more collectible. Those sunflower ones, there weren't very many available, so I priced them at a higher price. So that's one thing that I suggest. If you have an item, look at the other available like it on the market. So if if you look it up and Poshmark has, you can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, then you're not gonna be able to price that item very high. But if you look it up and there's only, say, 10 listed and maybe only one other pair in the same size or no other pairs, then you can price it up because people don't have very many options. This is kind of an interesting sale. So I recently went to an estate sale, and I hope I have time to do a haul video for this because I spent $890 at one estate sale. I know, I don't need any more inventory, but there was so much good jewelry and it was $3 a piece. So I just bought and bought and bought. This lady was a QVC shopper, and I think she was not very mobile, so she just stayed home and shopped on QVC, and the amount of stuff she had was insane. I didn't even get in to see the number of Birkenstocks because I was looking through the jewelry first, but there had to have been over 100 pairs of Birkenstocks, and this Calceo brand, and then so many handbags, tons of Patricia Nash, and then what is the other one? And Shuka, I can't remember. It's a hand painted bag, but they had all the bags priced at $15 a piece. There were some that had new tags on them for $250. All the Birkenstocks and other shoes were $5 a piece. So I picked up quite a few pieces, and a lot of them were funky like this, but I listed these, and these sold in less than 24 hours for, let's see, what was it? $40. I think I listed them at $48 because they're new, but they had a couple little like rubs and scuffs on them. And then I got that offer for $40. I just decided to go ahead and accept it because I didn't really feel like I would get a ton more for them if I waited. And I think I got maybe 10 or 15 pairs of this brand and Birkenstocks, all in the same size. So I made sure to put in my listings that I'd be listing multiple items in this size and to bundle for discounts. This gal didn't bundle, but I always like to let people know when I have multiples of items to hopefully increase the chances that they'll buy more. Okay, so they sold for $40. I paid $5, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $27. I'm perfectly happy with that, especially since I want to, move some stuff out to recoup that money because that was a really big spend for me. Normally, I don't spend that much at estate sales, but especially on jewelry, when the price is right and there's a lot of it, it doesn't take up very much space. So I want to buy it when it's available. I did have some questions about the size of box that I use, and I will try and, tell you different sizes when I can. So for the Ariat cruisers, I am going to use this medium flat rate box. It's kind of the size of a shoe. These ones are a little bit more flat, so I am going to use box number 1095 for those and just nestle them down in there. I used a padded poly mailer for the Seagull. And then for my belts, I either use the small flat rate box or box 1096L, which is just a little bit larger than the small flat rate box. I hope that is helpful. For non-breakable items, I just try and use a box that the item will comfortably fit in, and preferably a box that I don't have to add extra padding to or extra packaging material, but I don't like my items to really move around a ton. So if there is extra space, I will add extra packaging, but I ask all my friends and family to save their packaging from their Amazon packages, so that the plastic air pillows, and then I just reuse those. So I'm not buying new filler material, and most of the people just, put it in a garbage bag and then call me when they have a full garbage bag, and I go pick it up. I reuse that, then I reuse the garbage bag that they gave me. So it's, a great way to save money and reduce waste, but still make sure that your packages are safe. So I hope that is helpful. That is it for today, but hopefully I'll be back in a couple of days to share what else I sell. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hey again, it's Saturday and I've got some pretty great sales to share with you, so let's get started. The first item is this vintage necklace belt. It has these cool little hands on each end, and then it has a little clasps. Can you see that? So then you can attach it at anywhere on the necklace, so you could double it up and wear it around your neck, or you could wear it as a belt. This is by D.L. Auld, A-U-L-D. Now there are some reproductions of this, so you want to make sure that your item is marked if you were looking to get a high price for it. This sold for $150, and the mark, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it is right here underneath the little clasp. And it says, now I can't read it because my eyes are so bad, but I think it just has a D and an A on there. But this style came with the hands or with snake heads, and it is quite collectible and desirable. Although this did take quite some time to sell for that amount, I think close to 2 years. I may have been able to sell it quicker if I had priced it lower, but I had it priced at over $200 and I got the offer for $150. So I just decided to go ahead and accept that. I had only paid $3 for this. I got it at a thrift store and they had it in with the costume jewelry. I didn't even know how good it was at first until I did research. I'm gonna package that up off camera, but after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $117. I'm thrilled with that. These came from, I don't know if I mentioned it in this video. Sorry, from day to day, I forget what I've said, but I just spent a lot of money at an estate sale, and these are one of the items that I got. I have already sold a couple pairs of the shoes. They are a pair of Batula Birkenstocks. These were in good condition, but they had some scuffs. And they sold for $55. I'm thinking that maybe I underpriced some of these shoes a little bit, but I am motivated to, you know, move through some of the items in this haul just because I spent so much money. So again, these sold for $55. I paid $5 a piece for the shoes, so still a great return. That made my profit $39 after my cost of goods and Poshmark fees. I just did the haul for all of this stuff today, so I'm not sure if it'll come out before or after this video does, but if it's already out, I will link it in the description box below. And if it's not out yet, then wait and look forward to it. My thumbnail will say I spent $890 at an estate sale, so you'll know which one it was. Okay, the next item is another pair of these shoes from that same estate sale, and they are the Calceo brand. These are brand new without tags. They sold for $40. Now, I did see some higher comps for this particular design, but I'm not really interested in waiting around to sell these shoes. I don't think that they are super, you know, special, unusual pieces. Maybe they are, maybe I'm wrong. But I got the offer for $40 on these. That's what I sold the other pair for a couple of days ago. So I am just happy to get them moved on to a new home. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $27. A nice profit for a quick flip. Now my haul video just aired and I shared all of these pieces in the haul, and I think it's probably one of you who watches my videos that bought them. So if you are a viewer, thank you so much for buying these. I just realized that there is some lint on one of these pieces, but I got all these pieces at a fill the bag sale, and they're all size extra small in excellent condition. The first item is just this simple black Patagonia skirt. It is, I'm sure it's unworn. You can just tell by the way the fabric feels. It hasn't been washed or worn. So the bundle sold for $104 for all 4 pieces. The next item is this Toad & Co. dress. It was new with tags, size extra small. And this person got a really great deal on this because this one Toad & Co. dress, the retail was $85. But I bought these with the intention of someone bundling them all together and getting a good deal. Another of the same dress. It is marked Horny Toad, but Horny Toad and Toad & Co. are the same, you know, mother brand or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it. And then this one is also the Toad & Co. And it's a extra small, kind of, you know, activewear dress, and the fabric on these is really, really super nice. So just wanted to get those all put together. And like I said, the bundle sold for $104. The buyer got, I think, about 20% off my original asking price by making this bundle and making me that offer. My average cost of goods per item from this fill the bag sale was about $1. Let's see. Now, maybe I'm going to package those up off camera because that's looking kind of wrinkled in there and I want it to look nice. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made profit $79.20. I'm thrilled with that. Thank you so much. If you are a viewer, I really appreciate your business. The next item is this Calvin Klein down puffer coat. I really liked the champagne color of this. Sorry, I just noticed a loose thread. So that is why I picked it up. I picked it up at the bins, actually, and I kept this and really liked it and wanted to wear it, but it's a size medium, but it was just a little snug through the chest on me. So I decided to sell it, and it sold for $39. The buyer bought it outright for my full asking price. Boy, I missed quite a few loose threads on this. So I had got this at the bins, if I didn't already say that. So I paid somewhere about $1 for it because it's so lightweight. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $30.20. Sorry, I got a little discombobulated there. So, also there's someone coming to look at 2 vintage end tables that I have listed on Facebook Marketplace for $550. So hopefully they buy those. I'll let you know on Monday if they do or not, but that'll be a really great return and a really great sale if they do buy it. So my total sales for the week were pretty good. Well, the total amount is great, $1,480, but $652 of that is that Saint Laurent bag that I didn't really make any money on. I actually lost money on, but I still had those sales. Without that, it would have been $828 for the week. My total cost of goods was $607.84, again, because I had that high amount I paid for the Saint Laurent bag. And my total profit was $572.12. Not going to complain. It does seem like my sales are picking back up after that case that I had that seemed to impact my sales. So I'm just going to be thankful that things are picking back up and that I'm selling some great things. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so very much. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next week.